I have two books I'm going to use. This one is the manual like you would see at Tractor Supply. It's the Massey Ferguson shop manual. And the other one is this book here by Chris Jaworski. Just so I'm not plagiarizing in any way, shape, or form, but I don't know if you can see that or not. But there are about 41 items listed in there that you can check every 10 hours, 50, 125, 250, all the way up to 1,000 hours. About the tractor, it's a 1960 Ferguson 35, even though somebody put a sticker on here that says Massey Ferguson. This is before they became Massey Ferguson, as you can see. That's enough chatting. Let's go ahead and get started. Not bad. That's not bad at all. Oh, just kidding. She's good and clean, and we're ready to put oil back in it. Next is to grease the brake shaft bearings. That was easy. Next is greasing all of the steering connections and the front axle. So the book also talks about greasing the front axle bushing, pivot bushing, which I'm thinking they're talking about this here. If you look down here, the axle will pivot on a bushing right here, but there's no way to grease it. If you have one and there's a way to grease it, I certainly would, because the bushing actually completely wore out of my brother's, and the whole front end will rattle when you have something heavy on the back, where it takes a lot of the weight off of the front. And the only way to do that is to tear the whole front axle apart, press a new bushing in there, and then you can buy a new pin as well. Grease the leveler gearbox. I already greased this here, and it looks good. Right where it's always been. Now I do have jugs on standby right here, because I went to change it when I first bought it, but as soon as I started draining it, I noticed that it was perfectly clear, clean. There was no need to change it for nothing, so I have it in case I do need to change it, maybe next year. Now we're gonna head to the every 50 hours, and that's gonna be the gearbox. We're gonna make sure that it's at the right level. She looks a little on the low side, but we're not gonna add any because I think we're gonna be draining some here to check that pump. Check the fan belt. We don't drain any water because we don't have a diesel fuel filter housing. Now we're going to the 125 hours. Replace the engine oil and filter. Okay. Well, that wasn't very tight. $17mm. My nuts all wore out. Okay. We'll save this guy. I think it's just going to be easier to thread this out. It would slide if you yanked hard enough. It's easier just to do one of those. My spring's in there, that's good. Wix 51010. Here we go. Whoop. Put this back up. You can sit here and spin this thing by hand if you want, but where's my drill? Clearly through. Like I said, there's a rubber on there, but it's easier to just drill it through, run it through. All right. Hopefully everybody can see because it is dark in here. Okay. Oil filter canister, torque spec, 22 to 24 foot-pounds. There it was. Okay, that's it. We'll see how many leaks we have. If you get online, especially Facebook, you're going to hear every answer you can imagine when it comes to what type of oil to run in these tractors. They're calling for 20W40 or 15W30 mineral oil. I'm just going to go with 10W40 conventional oil, which is a detergent oil, and that'll keep the particles suspended. And I need that because I have an oil filter, so I need my particles to remain suspended so they make it to the oil filter. That's my thinking anyhow. Oh, and I have a bottle of this zinc I bought online on Amazon for like $4 or $5. Pretty easy. I think you just, so it says add 1 fluid ounce per 6 quarts to achieve a level of 15 to 1800 parts per million. So we'll put half the bottle in and save the other half for this winter. Next, we're going to grease the steering box top bearing. See if I can find that. I guess I'm going to have to skip that one. There are no grease fittings at all on this steering box. The only way they say to do that is to pull the steering wheel off. Remove distributor cap and lubricate the internal parts. Now in this book, this guy recommends putting a drop of engine oil on the center shaft. While we're in there, we might as well check the gap. So the breaker contact gap is 22 thousandths. All right, so we have the engine turned to where the high point, we have our gap right here, but it's nowhere near what it's supposed to be. Hopefully you can see, I've loosened this screw here. So this here should, if I turn it, you see how it moves? Let's see if it moves on us while we tighten her down. Much better. So I run the Autolite 386 spark plugs in this, and we're going 25 thousandths. Perfect. I would say that this here is what mine were, for sure. It's an overrich, which I expected. This battery's fine. 6 of 23. It's a Marine deep cycle, 840 cranking amps. Replace fuel filters. The only fuel filter that I have on this tractor is the bowl right here. Up underneath this bowl is a fuel filter, is a mesh filter. After that, it comes out of this steel line. You can see it bends right around here, and it goes right into the carburetor. A fuel filter, inline fuel filter, would be nice to have. I should probably get one. Now this here, this bowl we're going to replace, which I think it's right here. Yes. Yeah, so right here. That's my filter. Lubricate the dynamo. There is a cap on here, right there. You're supposed to put a couple drops of oil in there. I missed again. 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to put it in this one or not, but we'll see what happens. I gotta hit the hole. Missed. I don't think that does anything, but you never know. So we're getting to the fun part. Check engine valve clearances. We'll have to pull the tank off, but we have to take this off and replace it anyhow. As you can see, it's wet. This here is leaking. I'm sure there's something I can replace in there, but we'll turn on the fuel, see what kind of mess we can make. We'll let her drain. Well, we got to our dirty little valves here, and it was a pretty simple process. I simply disconnected the fuel line off of the sediment bowl, and then screwed the sediment bowl off of the bottom of the tank. I took 4 bolts off of the tank that hold it on the tractor, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. Took the tank off, took off 2 nuts that hold the valve cover on, peeled it off, and here we are. So the book calls for 13 thousandths for both intake and exhaust, and you're supposed to check them when they're hot. We're going to check them when they're cold, and we're going to set them at 15 thousandths. Here's one at 20 thousandths, slides right in there. So we'll go ahead and get started here with our 15 thousandths. So first we'll loosen this nut, which is pretty tight. All right, so we have our 15 thousandths. Hopefully you can see this sliding in right here. We'll snug this. Hold that still with the screwdriver. Check here. Yeah, we're still good. Okay. Now, I don't think you can see this one as well. She needs adjusted. This one's way out. All right, let's just put some of this around here. Let's see if it'll hold it in place. Let's just do it like this. All right, we got the breather tube all cleaned up. And that gasket fits in there just like a glove. All right, it's been a couple hours. I think this is gonna stay. It's a thin coat. Goodbye. For now. I still have to hook the fuel line up to this side. Let's just see if it'll start up. There's still gasoline in the bowl of the carburetor. There's no gas. The gas line's not even hooked up. Let's see if she'll start. Yeah, everything sounds good so far. Oil pressure went right up. Well, I think everything's good to go for now. I didn't get to do as much as I wanted to. I wanted to adjust the brakes, change the filter in the power steering reservoir, and I wanted to work on the hydraulic pump. It's got an issue. I think I know what it is. So we'll go ahead and work on that on the next video, as well as drill out some bolts that I snapped off in the rear end. So I have some tools for that, some burrs for my die grinder or for my Dremel tool. So that'll be it for one video. Thanks for watching. See ya.